What's up, everybody? Welcome to our EA Play 2017 press conference reaction video. I'm Ben, here with our usual cast of characters: Brent, Bender, Frankie, the Short Pause crew, live and well this E3. Say hello to the people, fellas.
What's going on?
Hello.
What's up?
So, today, basically, E3 in earnest gets going. Just one conference today. The next couple days we'll have some more activity, but EA got us started like they normally do. They're we're creeping earlier and earlier every year as we get into E3 here. So we're starting on a Saturday now with EA's Play event and their press conference. So we watched it earlier. We had a live blog up on the site. If you missed anything, you can check that out there and catch up on any of the news that you may have missed. So you know. In typical EA fashion, they didn't put on a great show. It wasn't a high octane event by any means. But this is what we come to expect from EA. But they did have some good stuff to show us though. Outside of that, it's not that the games or anything that they show was inherently bad. Sometimes they just don't have the best setup in terms of relaying the information to us.
Right.
So the conference got started. I mean, they came on with the drum line, had some Madden stuff on there, but really the first thing they got into was Battlefield 1. So, we basically knew what was going to be at the EA event as well. We pretty much knew the rundown before the conference, so we had a good idea of what they were going to show us today. But with Battlefield 1, we knew they were going to come out and talk about some of the DLC, and they did that here. So June and July, we're going to get 2 new night maps for Battlefield 1. The big thing, though, they talked about was the expansion known In the Name of the Tsar is the name of it. And 6 new maps going to the eastern front of World War I. Brand new weapons, a new Russian army. What's that group of women? The Women of Death or something.
The Women's Battalion of Death, I think.
Yeah, the Women's Battalion of Death, which sounds badass. They're going to be in the game now too. So we've got that to look forward to. But yeah, sounds like a pretty sizable expansion with 6 new maps. So they also announced Battlefield 1 has 20 million registered players now, over 20 million, which is pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. So that game is alive, well, kicking. They also teased a Gamescom announcement of what sounds to be a smaller scale battle inside of Battlefield 1. So that'll be interesting to see what that all comes out to be. That was the how they got things started. I don't know, you guys have anything to say about Battlefield 1? What do you think about what they showed there?
I thought the night maps and the winter maps, so they come with the Tsar expansion. I thought those winter maps looked freaking great. I mean, I thought those looked really, really good.
Yeah, they do look really good. That's a game I got to hop into and play one of these days, man. Frankie, what did you think of what you saw from Battlefield 1?
It looks cool. I like how they're kind of like these snowy looking settings, really dark and kind of gray looking. So looks pretty cool. I'm interested.
Yeah. Now is this part of the season pass? This in the name of the Tsar?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big expansion for a multiplayer focused expansion. 6 maps, brand new army, brand new weapons, brand new all kinds of stuff. So seems like it's going to be a pretty good bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. Bender, you hopping onto the World War I battlefield anytime soon, man? sticking a knife into some necks? It seems
Probably
like you're
not. It did look cool, and I'm glad they're adding to the game for people who are fans, and it's always good to have new content, but still not my type of game, but the stuff they showed did look pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Battlefields are chugging along pretty much the polar opposite of what we're seeing from Infinite Warfare, which is Battlefield 1's a game that people have loved, people enjoy. It's got a very strong community, people that are behind it. So good for Battlefield 1. 20 million players is pretty impressive, though, after, what has it been, 6 months since the game came out? 9 months, something like that. So kudos to them. So that looks like some great content there. They obviously spent a lot of time on the sports stuff, so we appear to be getting basically like single player modes for all of their sports games, or single player like story focused modes.
Yeah.
So we saw the Madden mode, we saw the FIFA mode, which will be returning this year. We saw what they're planning to do with NBA Live, which looks to have another like single player focused mode. So it's an interesting way to kind of make some of their games stand out. Whether or not they succeed or if people give a damn about the single player experience in their sports games, we'll find out. I know we don't play a lot of sports games here at the site. We don't get a lot of time to dedicate to them, but there's obviously a ton of fans out here for those games, and hopefully they saw something they liked there. But we won't spend too much time with that because we've got other things to talk about. And the first thing I want to hit on outside of the sports is Need for Speed Payback, and in my opinion, this is one of the highlights of the show. Watching this game in action, this game I thought looked awesome. It looked like a mix of it had some burnout in it, but also reminded me of Split Second a lot as well, with the slow motion crashes and things blowing up around you. Split Second, one of my absolute favorite racing games. Burnout Paradise, I love that game. So to see like a melding of those two games into what looks like Need for Speed Payback. Now, will the story be good? Probably not. Will the characters be memorable? Probably not. It's probably going to be a poor man's take on the Fast and the Furious formula. But from a gameplay perspective, this game looks like it's going to deliver. I was blown away by what I saw from Payback. Frankie, you're a fan of some of the games that I'm a fan of, like Split Second, like Burnout. Were you impressed by what you saw with Payback?
I don't know. The thing that kind of annoyed me, and I don't know how much of this is actually like part of the mission that they showed, which I think is like highway heist or something. But essentially, you're kind of trying to get behind this truck, and you slow down, and it goes into a cutscene, and some stuff happens, and then it seems like there's just gonna be a lot of cutscenes. And one of the things that kind of annoyed me was when they got in there, the Jess, I think her name is, gets in. He goes barreling out of the back of this truck in this, what was it, a Bugatti something or another. But she starts flying down the road, and then while she's driving, it goes into another cutscene. Like, I don't want it to start going into cutscenes of weaving around traffic. That's why I'm playing a racing game. So I hope don't get me wrong, I think like the slow motion shots they were showing of a lot of the crashes look really cool. It looks like the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit gameplay. You have enemy cars that have like health bars, which I think is cool. And like you said, those wrecks look pretty cool. But I don't know. I worry that they're going to be pushing a lot of cutscenes in the racing like the actual racing aspect, and I don't want that. Like, I want to be in control of the car, weaving around all these explosions and cars on fire. That's why I'm playing Need for Speed.
Well, that shot at the end was the end of the demo, so I don't know that they were going into a cutscene. I know that the demo was just ending, so that might be part of that. But I was watching the game after the stream. They had some stuff going on after the stream where they were just kind of showing the event, and the game looks to be like in an open world setting, something like a Burnout Paradise, where you can pretty much drive wherever you want. And I anticipate when you're doing a story mission, maybe there's more cutscenes or things like that. But I think outside of that, you're able to drive around and kind of take in the world and do some of the stuff that you normally do in some of these open world racing games. So I think you'll have an opportunity to engage in both of those styles of play. Bender, you were live blogging the stream with me. I was really impressed by Payback, dude. What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely some Fast and the Furious vibes with the fact that you have like this cast of characters and they're working together to pull off this high speed heist, to steal this car. I thought that was really cool. I did like the whole Burnout, like the crash scenes and stuff like that. And I did also get some Split Second vibes. I love that game as well. That was a great one. When are they going to bring that back? I wonder. Definitely bring that game back. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool. I haven't played the last several Need for Speed games. I just don't really get into the racing genre too much, but I might have to check this one out because I thought from what I saw, since it gave me those Burnout vibes, which is one franchise I did really get into, I think it's a game I might want to check out.
Yeah, Brent, and I really liked the sense of speed in the game. I mean, obviously the game's called Need for Speed, but it really looks like you can fly on this game. And I don't know. I like the way the crashes and everything was kind of weaving together. It was all kind of seamless, It was like you crashed and you were right back onto the pavement. even when you stole that car and you switched to the other driver, like that was just all seamless. Crashed right through the back of that truck. You were in control of that new car, like speeding towards your destination there. So I thought it looked great, man. What'd you think?
From a gameplay perspective, this game looks fun as hell. I mean, I don't expect much from the story here. I'm sure it'll be something just absurd and insane, but as long as it plays and it's as fun as this looks, I might actually get behind this game. Like I said, I'm not big on like the simulation the racing games, but something like this, where it's got bits of burnout, like you said, split second. I think this looks really, really fun, and I love the crashes, the slowdown, and all that stuff. So, I mean, do I feel like they really need to put a lot of emphasis on the story? No. But from a gameplay perspective, from a fun factor, this game looks like it has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just in terms of what we've seen from the last few years from Need for Speed, this is by far the most promising looking Need for Speed I've seen in a while. The most I've ever been excited to pick up the controller and play one of these in recent memory. So I'm actually looking forward to Payback now. I think this looks really rad. Now, one of the other standouts of the show was a game we heard whispers about before the show began, and this is A Way Out. This is the new game from what's his name? Joseph Garris? Is that
Ferris.
Ferris.
Joseph Ferris.
Joseph Ferris. So this is the guy behind Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Tale of Two Sons.
The subtitle. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, a game that has been critically lauded for a long time. We actually saw a snippet of this game back at the Game Awards in 2014. There was this little vignette, got some wireframe stuff that showed us a very brief clip of these two guys on a like boxcar train, like speeding down the track, and this was 2-3 years ago now. So I'd forgotten all about this game until they brought it out on the stage today, and A Way Out just stole the show. I mean, just a really, really cool looking game. It looks to, we know Brothers was kind of this unique take on a co-op experience or a two person experience, and they look to take that to the next level with A Way Out, in so much that you're controlling two different characters who each have their own personalities, their own motives, their own stories that they're going through, and you guys kind of play out the story the way that you see fit. So one of the examples they showed in the stream was, one guy, it starts in a prison at least, and then you guys try to break out and go on your adventure from there. So they showed one guy already in prison. He's, interacting with the prisoner, going through his prison life. The other guy is just entering into prison. He's getting all his prison suit and going through the kind of entry process into the prison. And that person's in a cutscene. This other guy's doing gameplay. So just really cool stuff like this. They showed some of the examples of different ways you could tackle an objective, like trying to get from point A to point B, smuggling guys out in laundry carts, knocking the guards out. Just some really cool stuff. I don't know. I thought A Way Out looks like this could be a really, really special game. Brent, what'd you think of this one, man?
Yeah, this is the game that probably stood out the most for me, just because we got a good look at gameplay, we got a good idea what the story's about. But the fact this game can be played cooperatively, and I like how they mentioned that I might be playing through or sitting through a cutscene while your character may be moving around doing something else in another scene. I think that looks really cool. And I mean, it also looks like there's different ways to go through whatever your objective is. There's different ways to complete it. You don't have to just do it one way. So that adds to replayability, which is always something I'm concerned about with a story-driven game like this and in a cooperative element. And with cooperative elements, there's different ways to get through each mission. There's different ways to complete things. And the story looks rad. I like the art style. I think it's a beautiful-looking game. But yeah, co-op, this looks rad. And I understand that it's split screen, couch co-op. It sounds like it will be split screen for online too. So we'll both see both sides, even if you're online. Based on when I watched the gameplay trailer, listening to the director talk about it, he said this game will be played cooperative or split screen on the couch and also online. So there will be split screen on both of them, and I think this just looks really, really cool, man. This looks rad.
Yeah, Joseph came out and he said that this game is only playable in co-op. So this is not a single-player game. And you can either play it with somebody on the couch or somebody online. And your screen will always be in split screen because one guy's doing one thing and the other guy's doing another thing. Sometimes you come together and you're doing the same thing. But oftentimes you guys are out doing different things. Bender, you're a fan of Brothers. what do you think about what you saw from A Way Out here, man? Does this seem like a natural evolution to some of the themes they started exploring in that game? And what do you think about what you saw here? This looks like a pretty unique experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was really intrigued by what I saw with this game. It was super cool. I was saying during the live blog that it seems like it would be a good game to stream. Get a couple of us on there just to play through the story in the game. I don't know how long it is, but it seemed like it's going to be a really interesting and unique experience. I like original ideas like this in games. It's something that we haven't quite seen anything quite like it before. The characters seemed cool. Some of the stuff they're showing, I got a kind of a Nate and Sam Uncharted vibe with the two guys working together, watching each other's back and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems cool. Seems like they're not going for like big name voice talent or anything. I started following Joseph on Twitter, and he tweeted out that his brother is doing one of the characters for one of the voices, the voices for one of the characters. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it looks like a very interesting game. Like Bren was saying, I like the art style. It looks like it looks really good visually. So yeah, I'm super excited about this one.
Definitely. Frankie, what'd you think?
Yeah, like you guys, it looks awesome. I liked when they were showing off. It was towards the end. They were talking about how you, like Brent was mentioning, you have kind of variety of how you want to tackle objectives. So you have, either you could go and distract like the security guard, and the other guy goes and sabotages this like washing machine or something, and that'll kind of get the guard so you to move so you can steal the card or whatever you're trying to do. Or you have the other guy who goes and smacks this guy in the back of the head and blames the other guy and starts a prison fight. So it seems like the choices that you're going to have to tackle some of these objectives seem like they're going to be pretty creative, and that's awesome. I initially was kind of worried because it sounded like they were talking like it was only going to be split screen co-op, like on the couch, because that's what he kept talking up. I know, like he just was quick, like there's online too, but I was like, is it the same thing? Or because there's no way I'm going to talk Jen into playing this with me, so I was a little worried at first, but I'm glad that they're going to have like online split screen, so at least we can all hook up and play it. That'd be cool. But yeah, this game actually looks really cool. Like you said, this one stole the show for me. So I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see more. Get a date.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph was clear that his intention was that you play this game sitting next to another person on the couch. But he also made it clear that online is included in there as well. So he knows that's not an option for everybody. So thank you, Joseph, for doing that. Yeah, this looks like a pretty big budget affair for a smaller developer. I mean, I know he's got EA behind him, so that obviously helps out. But yeah, kudos to him, man. This game looks great.
By the way, I loved his passion on stage.
Dude, yes.
He was so genuine and very passionate, and you could tell he's really enjoying making this game, and he loves making games in general, so I really appreciated that about him.
Definitely, yeah. So shout out to Joseph, shout out to A Way Out, really cool looking title from the EA conference. Moving on from there, we had another game that was bandied about a little bit before the show. And this is BioWare's new title. So the codename Project Dylan has been out there for a little while now. We know this is the main Mass Effect team, the Knights of the Old Republic team. Like this is the game that they've been working on. So Mass Effect was handed over to BioWare Montreal. They were entrusted with that franchise. They had done some DLC for the Mass Effect games, and then they kind of took the reins on Andromeda while the primary BioWare team, toiled away on this Project Dylan. And now we're going to see the fruits of their labor this weekend. We saw a very brief snippet here. I mean, I'm talking brief, like 30 seconds or less. It may not even have been 30 seconds. I don't know. But their game is officially called Anthem. So and we had heard this was going to be the plan before the show, but they showed a brief trailer here. The full reveal going to be tomorrow at Microsoft's press conference. So I don't know what that entails. I don't know if that entails gameplay, a full trailer, no idea. But whatever they're planning to do with this game, we'll get the full reveal tomorrow. What'd you guys think of what you saw from Dylan here, from this very brief snippet? Frankie, what are your thoughts?
I get like vibes of Iron Man from it. Like you got this little mech suit thing, and you just got glowing eyes, and I know that they just opened up their Twitter account as well, and like their little Twitter banner is these guys just hovering in the air like Iron Man. So I don't know, but I am really intrigued by this game. Like I cannot wait to see more of this thing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first shot in the game looks like a shot from Destiny. It's a wall and some type of a spaceship or something crashed in the background. There's a group or a civilization of some sorts barricaded in from some seemingly creatures that are on the outside. There was some hulking turtle or something. It looked like that was a dinosaur that was.
I was gonna say I would be afraid of a hulking turtle. I'd be like, oh, just go out there and kill it, dude. It's a turtle.
Hey, if you
push it over.
If he weighs 400 tons and he's the size of 6 skyscrapers, you might be a little scared of him.
Yeah.
Just let me be afraid of my turtle, okay? So we see this shot of some creatures, and we see inside these people, and like Frankie mentioned, there's some type of an armor suit that we saw. What looks like some kind of a mech or something in there as well. And that's pretty much all we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So we have speculation and conclusions to draw from there. Brent, what did you think of that?
I know from what we saw, I like the world that it looks like you'll be exploring. I mean, it looked like this luscious area with this giant wall, and like you said, this creature just kind of lurking around the wall. So like I said, we don't know much about this game other than what their Twitter handle says, fall 2018, and it's BioWare, and it's just kind of a sci-fi setting. So that's basically all we know about this game. But this looks pretty sweet, dude.
Mm-hmm. Bender, you recently played through the Mass Effect game, so you have a pretty good handle on what this team's capable of. Are you happy to see them returning to sci-fi for their next game? This looks to be a little bit of kind of like a dark sci-fi game. Is that a route you're happy to see them continue along?
Yeah, definitely. It's really intriguing. That is the word to use, I think, for right now. Intriguing. I know we're going to see more tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, from what I understand, isn't this going to be like a kind of a Destiny or a Division type of persistent and online type of experience? Is that what I'm to understand? Maybe I'm I don't know where.
I do remember a report coming out a while back that's what they were aiming for with this, but I'm not sure if that's what it's ultimately going to be or not.
Okay. Well, yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of another game.
No, you're right. I mean, there was something. I remember there was an article that said I think it's drawing inspiration from Destiny and the Division. So I don't know how much it's going to be like that, but there's some inspiration from those games. Is what the article implied.
Well, hopefully we'll find out tomorrow. But it looks really cool. I do like the aesthetic and the whole idea of it, and the sci-fi theme. I'm always down for that. So whatever it turns out to be, I'm definitely interested in it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the full reveal.
Yeah, I saw people talking about that, and I wasn't sure if that was ever substantiated. The talk about the MMO or like the Destiny type of feel to it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm curious to see about that as well, because man, the internet as they are, everybody's got an opinion, and everybody wanted everybody else to know their opinion. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and I guess I should have clarified that's a rumor article, so it's not.
Okay.
It's that the rumor is that it's drawing inspiration from those. So let me clarify that. Obviously, we're not journalists with deep contacts and whatnot, but we just go based on the stuff that we hear from more reputable sources that have actually access to that type of information. So, but from the rumor has a Destiny. It draws inspiration from Destiny and the Division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people ran with that. I mean, they saw that first shot, like I mentioned, shot of a wall. Which looks like could have been something out of Destiny. Then you take the Destiny rumors. And people just jumped all over that. Like everybody knew everything about this game from that 20-second clip that we saw.
Yeah, so, we literally know nothing about this game other than it's got deadly turtles. Look out, deadly turtles!
Deadly turtles, man. Yeah. So, once again, the gaming world just showing how embarrassing they are, and just just shut the hell up, dude. It's just really what it comes down to. What do you guys think of the way they did Anthem? Like, was this a good way to reveal the game? I mean, would it have been better if they had just done it tomorrow at Microsoft's event? Was there a point to even doing this 20-second clip here? What do you guys think of the way they did this?
Well, I mean, it's an EA press conference, so I would have expected Anthem to be there first. Obviously, I think you'll see the big reveal, but I mean, it's EA's game that they're going to want to have the first, hey, look, get hyped for this, because before this, we didn't even have that. So we get our little bit of a hype here, get ready for this, and then tomorrow we'll see the, whatever it is they're going to show us. I'm sure we're going to learn about what type of game it is. We'll probably get like an extended cutscene or a story trailer, and that's probably about it, because if this is a fall 2018 title, I can't imagine there's too much they could have conjured up in terms of gameplay to put together a long trailer.
Mm-hmm. About you, Frankie? What you think of the way they did this?
Actually, I mean, it made me far more excited for tomorrow than I already was.
Mm-hmm.
We now know, like he mentioned on stage, this thing, they're just talking about the Project Scorpio, and obviously this is going to be a showcase title for that platform. So I think it works out well. I think I got just enough excitement out of the EA show that tomorrow, like I'm really like chomping at the bit to learn more about this game.
About you, Benner? You got an opinion about the way they did this?
I think it's cool. Gets our imaginations going about what this game could be, and gets us hyped up for the conference tomorrow. And I think it was a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you guys. I didn't have a problem with it. Some people on the internet did though. So, but it is what it is.
Big
man.
surprise.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I'm really excited to see Anthem tomorrow, and that's that's one of the only things that we know for sure is going to be at Microsoft's conference tomorrow. So we have that to look forward to, and I can't wait to see more of it. I'm really, really excited to see where they go with it, especially if it's anything like Destiny or sci-fi or whatever. Like, sign me up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so from there, they actually dedicated the majority of their conference to Battlefront 2. So they told us the last 30 minutes was going to be 30 minutes of Battlefront 2, and that's basically what they delivered to us. So it was they didn't show us any single player, which I thought was weird. I thought we might get our first taste of the single player campaign. I mean, we saw another trailer for the game, which hinted at some of the single player campaign stuff, but we didn't see any of that in action. We did see the multiplayer in action, though. We saw this very, very awesome looking Naboo map that they were fighting on, and we saw this I don't know if this mode's called Assault. I'm guessing that's what it's called, but it was a 3-phase multiplayer mode.
Mm-hmm.
It involved a group of separatist droids versus some of like the Federation droids, and they had to first escort a tank to a certain point on the map. If the tank made it to that point, you then entered into phase 2, which was like an assault on the palace. Once you made it to the palace, if you were able to work your way up to there, you then had to kind of storm the palace, get into the throne room, and take over the throne room, and that was kind of the end of phase 3. So, super cool mode. I love these tiered modes that they do in Battlefront. Those are always a lot of fun. We saw some of the spacecrafts in action. We saw some of the on the ground stuff. Game, they showed us pre-alpha gameplay. Looked great though.
Man,
game was running at 60 frames. The camera's in tighter over the third person shoulder now.
Yep.
So it's a more cinematic experience now as you're going through the campaign. Obviously the first person perspective's still there. We saw some of the new class-based battle system in action. We saw heavy troops versus some of the more nimble troops versus some of the special troops that you're able to unlock, like the jump troopers who have jetpacks. We saw some of the heroes in action. We saw Darth Maul just absolutely wrecking everyone in his path. So yeah, Darth Maul looks like an absolute badass. We saw some of the Boba Fett was giving out some work as well. He looks like he's awesome in that game. So we saw that new battle point system in action where you getting access to these heroes is based on how you spend these credits that you earn during the match, which you get not only from kills but from doing the objectives as well. So It's not just for like the hardcore killers on the map. You can search out and do the objectives, and I don't know. I was really excited watching this. I thought this looked great. It made me even more excited to play this game. Frankie, what did you think of what we saw from Battlefront 2?
Really excited. I feel like they're going out of their way to, like, we get it, we hear you, we're putting a story in here, it's there, it's great. So I'm looking forward to that. But dude, that multiplayer demo was awesome. I think that battle point system, because this is my biggest problem with the first Battlefront game, is you getting access to heroes, ships, vehicles, anything like that. It was dependent on you being able to grab a pickup. People knew where they were. People camped at the spawn site for them to get them. Mm-hmm. That kind of sucked. That ruined the fun for a lot of people. And I think doing it this way, where They're essentially kind of rewarding you for, whether you're playing the objective or actually doing pretty well in your team. That's how you're going to get your X-Wings, and what was that other thing they showed? It was this little like robotic dude that a stormtrooper was riding on.
Well, like that
Yeah,
little it almost looked like a horse or whatever it was. Oh, it was an ATTR, or it was something completely different I haven't heard of before.
Yeah.
It was one of those small walkers that they jumped into. Yeah, those things are cool.
That was sweet.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool. So I guess like you can get blown off of that thing, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, just I was laughing because I think it was GameStop. They tweeted like, "Wow, Darth Maul is totally OP, unlike the movie he was in." It's so true.
Dude, GameStop was
they were
crushing
going
some
hard
people
today.
They were crushing
Yeah.
some people.
They were getting on the Xbox guys. That was they crushed that one guy. Yeah, they were shooting out tweets at everybody today. So shouts out to GameStop for just giving out the business. Yeah, so that was awesome. Brent, they talked up the story mode like Frankie was mentioning, so we know that that's a big focus in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the multiplayer, like we see this deeper experience.
Mm-hmm.
We see this deeper class system. We see this battle point system, which looks to be a better system than was in the first Battlefront. And I think we saw that in action in the multiplayer demo here. What do you think about this, dude? Are you excited to get a deeper combat system with Battlefront 2?
Yeah, that's one of the things I wouldn't say I didn't like about Battlefield 1, but the thing about Battlefield 1 is that I felt it was kind of shallow in terms of the gameplay, the character customization, the stuff that you could do and whatnot. So I kind of thought that was a little shallow, but it sounds like they're adding a lot of depth to it this time, so that's awesome. A ton more maps, a lot more content. So yeah, the multiplayer experience, I might actually stick around a little bit further this time because like the first one, I jumped in, I got my nostalgic feeling, I was in a Star Wars world, I was living out Star Wars dreams and whatnot, but at the same time, it was just like, this isn't quite as deep as I would like out of a shooter, even though they nailed everything else in terms of the presentation. It sounds like they're going to have the depth there now to go along with this outstanding presentation, and I'm excited for it big time.
Yeah, they've tweaked the feeling of the game. They've tweaked all of the like we talked about, all the mechanical stuff in the game. And like you mentioned, the game looks great. I mean, Battlefront 1 looked awesome. Battlefront 2 looks even better. And it's got the Star Wars feel down. And this map, dude, like this Naboo map is huge and sprawling. It reminds me of the maps that they were doing in Battlefield 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they've brought that kind of like map design and this just huge sprawling battlefields into Battlefront 2. And I can't wait, man. I think that looks really awesome. Now, Bender, quite possibly the best thing that they mentioned during the conference was that basically all the DLC for this game is going to be free this time around. So the characters are free, the maps are free, the modes are free. They're going to come out in these like seasons of content. So we know we're getting Finn and Captain Phasma. That's going to be one of the first content drops that we get for the game that we're getting for free. We know the planet Crate from The Last Jedi is also going to be added to the mix as well. So we've got this huge sprawling Star Wars playground. Everything's going to be free. It spans all the eras, even the new movies, even The Last Jedi, which is not even out yet. What do you think about all that, man? You excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited. That's awesome that they're going to have all that stuff for free. It's going to be more inclusive for everyone to play, and I think that's going to lead to a healthier online ecosystem because more people are going to want to keep playing if they're not being excluded by the people getting the stuff who paid for it. I'm really excited. I agree with Frankie about the whole battle point system. I think that's a great solution rather than people just running and picking up the hero tokens because this way everyone has a chance to play the heroes equally and earn them. So I think that's really cool. Really looking forward to seeing what other maps and what other heroes they introduce. I was saying during the live blog, if they let me play General Grievous with 4 lightsabers, oh man,
OP,
that would be awesome. And I do like that they that the heroes aren't confined to their eras.
Right.
So like they played adult Boba Fett, in the prequel map, which was cool. But poor Han Solo. He just the guy that was playing as him. He started playing as Han Solo and was immediately killed by Darth Maul. I was like, man, I love Han Solo, but how's he going to stand a chance against Darth Maul?
Yeah,
Really?
he doesn't.
I think Ray got gunned down like immediately
She
too.
did.
Yeah.
They were talking like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Ray's in the battlefield," and all of a sudden, 2 droids just drop her.
She
And I
got
was like,
taken
"Oh,
out
come
by
on."
she got taken out by a droid. It wasn't even Darth Maul. Yeah, I hope they balance the heroes well enough to where like Han will be able to stand a chance against Darth Maul or Grievous or whoever they put him up against.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Overall, I thought it was great. I like that you get to play as one of those separatist droids. Roger, Roger. Those guys make me laugh. And I was also saying that it'd be awesome if they let you play as one of those rolling destroyer droids that like have the force fields and the 2 guns. That'd be cool. I don't know if they'll let you do that, but that'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game and the single player. Oh, and space battles. We didn't talk about
Space
that
battles.
yet.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome to fly around and TIE fighters and X-wings and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's
Can't
gonna
wait.
be
It's gonna be
badass, dude.
great.
This is basically the Battlefront game everyone wanted 2 years ago. I mean, it really is.
Yep.
It's got an awesome story that sounds like it takes place between Jedi and the Force Awakens. It kind of bridges everything together there. So you're gonna have an epic story. You're gonna have deep multiplayer. You're gonna have a ton of content. All the DLC is free. I mean, this game is going to be meant to like last for quite a while. They're gonna be supporting it a lot, and I'm stoked for it, man.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Brent. I mean, say what you will about EA, but they've listened to the feedback on Battlefront 1, and it sounds like they've addressed basically everything that people have been talking about. So story, gameplay system, deeper mechanics, the free DLC. They've hit on it all with Battlefront 2, and this just seems like basically the dream scenario for this game. So come November, what is it, 17th, whenever this game comes out, we may have to set Destiny aside for a few days. At least get in there and try out Battlefront and see what it's all about, because looks like it's going to be a really fun game.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys catch when they were going into that they had announced if you pre-order you'll get early beta access?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about this until they had mentioned it. I was like, oh, all right, well, I should probably get out there and pre-order this thing.
Did they announce when
definitely.
is it coming? Does the beta start? Is it like later this summer, or I didn't catch a date or even a
Yeah,
window?
they didn't. They just mentioned you'll get beta access for pre-ordering. So
Okay.
should probably
Nice.
do that.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it a while ago, so hopefully I'll get folded in with that offer whenever
I'm sure you
they
will.
decide to kick that in.
Mhm.
So, Bender, you mentioned something when we were doing the live blog that you were a little disappointed that you didn't see Visceral Star Wars in action.
Mhm.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to learning more about that game with Amy Hennig at the helm. I mean, it's going to be awesome, no doubt. We haven't seen much of it. We haven't heard much of it. So although I do see your point about they probably didn't want to detract from Battlefront 2, and they wanted that game to really have the spotlight this time, and that's fine. But I just can't wait to hear more about that game. I just know it's going to be awesome. There's no way it's not going to be great. There's no way it's not going to be great.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because that was when we were doing our predictions, like that and the one that I ended up going with last. Like, I was torn between, EA is going to do a teaser for Visceral's Star Wars game. The reason that I didn't go with it was because I thought for sure that, when we were going to see Battlefront 2, they were going to want to showcase a single player campaign. That was what we were going to be seeing a lot of. I wasn't expecting a half hour of a multiplayer match. I'm not complaining. That's great. But in my mind, I was thinking it would kind of undercut Battlefront 2's single player if you're out here touting Amy Hennig's, new Star Wars game. So that was in my head why I was justifying them not showing it. But now it seems odd to have done the demo that they did and not at least tease Visceral's game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I agree.
Good point.
I mean, you guys all make valid points on that, and I think, like you mentioned, Bender, I think what it just came down to is Amy Hennig's a big name, Visceral's a big name. Like, people are excited about this Star Wars game, about this like big time single player campaign, and like you said, they want the focus to be on Battlefront 2 right now. They want you to know that Battlefront 2 is going to have a kick-ass campaign. They want you to know that they've addressed everything with multiplayer, and they want you to be like, look, we've tackled everything you guys have said about Battlefront 1. We've put that into Battlefront 2. We'll just have to wait till next year for Visceral's game. But yeah, so Stig's game also on the horizon from Respawn. So for the next few years here, looks like we're in for some really kick-ass Star Wars games from EA. So I'm super excited about that.
I can't help but wonder if we won't see anything from Viscerals until the Star Wars event that usually takes place in March or April, because that's when they usually release a trailer. So they'll let Battlefront 2 get out there first, enjoy all the hype and the excitement, and then when the Star Wars event happens, that's when I wouldn't be surprised if they at least showed off something from either the Visceral or from Respawn.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, go ahead, Frankie.
I guess too. Like I was thinking back when they unveiled Andromeda. Like they unveiled that a year before they were going to start talking about it. Like I think that's how they opened their 2015 conference. Does that sound right? Yeah, 2015 was they had like this really short teaser for Andromeda, and it was like coming 2016 or whatever, and that was all we heard about it until last year. So I thought for sure we would see something like that for at least one of those games.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm wondering too if with Visceral and Amy Henny's game, like this is like a more like hardcore game. I wonder if maybe they wouldn't wait until the next EA play before they show this off for the first time. Battlefront 2. This is like a more of a, I don't know. It's more of a pop cultural kind of game. Like it reaches a wider audience, I think. So that's something you can throw a trailer out at a Star Wars celebration,
right.
and everybody can get behind. But they're gonna want to explain like Visceral's next game. Like they're gonna want to let us know like what's going on with the mechanics, what type of a game this is, what time frame it takes place in, introduce us to some of the characters. So this may be a game that we might not even see until next E3 proper. But we'll have to wait and see how that all pans out. Anything else you guys were missing from this event, or that you thought you might see or wanted to see?
Honestly, my expectations were so low for an E3 press conference. I thought they did pretty good. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say they did
just
good.
Happy
but
we didn't get wireframes, right?
Yes, no wireframes, no breakdown how we created this game. I would love to see how we created Mass Effect Andromeda now that the Kotaku article came out. But thanks for stopping by, Enrique. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for hopping in the chat. But I can't help but wonder if I thought A Way Out was like obviously the standout, and Anthem got things hyped. But I would say even though this wasn't a great EA press conference, it was by far the best they've had in a couple of years.
About you guys, anything else you were missing?
The only thing for me was I could have sworn somewhere that they had mentioned that Titanfall 2 would be here, and I'm somebody who really wants them to do more single player stuff with that game because I really love the campaign. BT is awesome. So like Respawn, and I think the Titanfall account, tweeted out that picture, that pretty badass looking Titan they have outside. So part of me was really kind of hoping that we'd see something with Titanfall 2, which I know that game probably didn't do well. So I don't really know a lot about how EA and Respawn's relationship is, especially over that game. But it's kind of sad that wasn't there in some capacity.
Yeah.
About you, Bender, anything you were looking for that you didn't see? Besides Visceral?
No. What?
Say V.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Fee or whatever it was called. Yeah, when they revealed that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more of that game. That game looked really interesting. So no idea what's up with that one.
Didn't those guys tweet something out that said they were working on it still or whatever?
Yeah, they sent out a tweet today, probably about after everything started going crazy. They sent out a tweet going, "Oh yeah, we're working on it. It's great. Can't wait to show you guys more." Like, well, you missed your opportunity, so next year, I suppose.
What's interesting is, and I didn't realize this until I actually started looking at who's making this game. Why didn't we see it? It's Zoink. It's the same people making that flipping death game that was announced for the Switch. That looks really cool.
The Stick It to the Man group.
Yeah, I like them. They make some interesting stuff. I mean, V kind of seems a little more of a serious tone game compared to the stuff they're known for. So,
yeah, I don't even remember Fee or what it was about. I remember when they originally unveiled it, I was like, yeah, this looks cool, but we haven't seen it since that show, right? That's the only thing we've only ever seen of this game. So, so it would have been nice to see some more of that. That's of course part of the EA Originals line as well, which they unveiled with that title last year. Now, A Way Out is coming along that as well. And I love those initiatives. I love the EA Originals initiative. I hope it does well for them. I hope A Way Out is good and Fee eventually gets out and they do some more games like this. But we see Square doing stuff like this with the Square Enix Collective, and I like to see these big third party publishers doing stuff like this and getting some of these smaller titles. We even see some of that with Ubisoft, like the UB Art titles that they put out, kind of tackling some of these smaller experiences that can be really impactful. So hopefully we see more Fee, but a Way Out looks dynamite. Early 2018 on that, so you can pen that one in for Q1 2018. We'll just start filling that out now. So shouts out to Q1 2018. So let's put a bow on this one, fellas. Overall thoughts on the EA conference. Bender, you should lead us off.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, aside from all the sports ball stuff, which I'm sure other people were excited about that stuff, but I thought Need for Speed looked pretty cool. A Way Out looked really, really interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Battlefront 2 looks awesome, so can't wait to see those. But yeah, overall it was a decent conference.
Frankie, your final thoughts?
It wasn't a bad show. I don't really like Brent. I don't have a high bar for EA press conferences. I feel like they're typically the kind of weakest of the bunch, so I'm usually happy that they're out of the way first, especially because they're going to be sports ball heavy, and I don't care. I literally sat here just staring, waiting for that stupid soccer thing to end. So, but no, I mean, the Battlefield 1 DLC actually looks really cool. Like you guys mentioned, A Way Out just completely stole the show. I really can't wait to get my hands on that. We'll wait and see on Need for Speed. Man, dude, I am completely amped to see Anthem tomorrow. That's going to be awesome.
Right.
You know, I actually liked it, man. I thought it was a decent show. Not the best show they could have had, but I really liked the Battlefield stuff that we saw. I liked A Way Out looked great. I'm really, really curious into seeing more about Anthem. So, and then obviously Battlefront 2 looked really, really good. So they delivered the stuff that we knew was coming. A Way Out was a nice surprise. Anthem we'll know more about tomorrow. But like I said, just overall presentation-wise and content-wise, it was much better than what we've seen in the past couple of years from EA. So I thought it was a decent show.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I mean, like I talked about it at the beginning of this, EA doesn't always put on the best show. They don't always get across their message in the most entertaining way. So they spend way too much time on the sports stuff, and it loses a lot of us. And when they spend 5-10 minutes on FIFA every single conference, and it's always some weird, awkward thing. Like it's annoying. But they got to do that stuff. People love those games. They sell millions and millions of copies of those games, and so they got to do that stuff. Hopefully they'll find a better way to do it in the future. But yeah, I really like some of the content in this conference, like you guys talked about. A Way Out, the teaser for Anthem. I thought Need for Speed looked awesome. Battlefront looks awesome. Like there's some really cool stuff inside of the conference here. And while the conference as a whole might not have been the best conference we ever seen, there's some cool stuff in here to get excited about. And the internet is just so damn cynical and negative about everything. Like all they want to focus on is the sports stuff or all the negative things that came out of this conference. But there is some cool stuff that's in here, some cool stuff to look forward to. So I'm with you guys. Probably the best conference they've put on in a while. Not because this one was any better than any of the other ones, but because the content and the games they have coming out look really, really cool. So some stuff to look forward to from EA here. So that's going to do it for us. Make sure you stay tuned to Short Pause all weekend, all week long here for E3. We've got you guys covered. We're going to be live reacting to all of the press conferences. We've got reaction videos following all of those as well. So make sure you stay locked into our YouTube channel. There's Short Pause Gaming on YouTube. Subscribe, bookmark, whatever you got to do. We've got a page on our website as well, www.shortpause.com, so you can follow along all of our E3 coverage on there as well. Our Twitter handles, are they on here right now? I don't know.
Yeah, they're right below us.
Okay. So they're right below us. I'm not watching the video right now, so I'm unsure. But Twitter handles are down there if you want to follow us. At the Short Pause on Twitter, we'll be tweeting all kinds of E3 stuff as well. So you can follow us in there. You won't miss a single thing. Brett, anything else we need to let the people know about before we get out of here?
No, just we look forward to talking to all of you guys and girls. Like I said, we'll be streaming. This was a little bit different just because we all couldn't meet up at the same time. But tomorrow we'll actually be streaming the press conference live. And we'll be talking about it live as it's happening. So it's gonna be a little bit different setup than what we had today. Be much easier tomorrow. It'll be all happening at one time. We'll watch the presser, we'll react to it live, and then we'll spend about 30 minutes afterwards just kind of talking about things. But next week. We'll have a new podcast where we'll actually dive deep into E3, all the stuff that happens outside of the press conferences as well. So we got a lot of stuff coming your way, but make sure you check out our YouTube channel. You'll see all the links to all the videos that'll be coming up this weekend with the times of the press conferences. We're also streaming on Twitch and on Mixer as well. So if whatever one you like watching on, we'll be there at the times of every press conference. So we got you covered.
Right on. So once again, that'll start tomorrow. It's 5 p.m. Eastern is when Microsoft takes the stage. We'll probably be on 10, 15 minutes before that, getting you guys ready for the show, kind of talking about what we're expecting to see. So make sure you tune in to that. And looking forward to seeing all you guys tomorrow. Oh, one more thing, too, before we get out of here. Lots of free EA stuff going on right now, which I forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
EA,
right.
EA Access is free right now.
Mm-hmm.
Free trials for games through, I think, June 18th is what it's going through. So if you're interested in trying out, if you have Battlefront as well, all of the content is unlocked right now, so you can get in there and try all of the stuff if you haven't bought it. So check that out as well. That's going to do it for us.
That's it.
So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Microsoft's presser. Adios.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.